Let's now talk to Cheryl Scales. She describes herself as a faith-rooted justice leader who had a long-standing relationship with Reverend Jesse Jackson. Cheryl, good to have you on the show. You knew Reverend Jackson personally. How will you remember him?
To be with you this afternoon. I will remember Reverend Jackson as a true moral architect of modern justice. He was someone who never separated faith from action. He believed ordinary people could shape extraordinary change. And that's how he organized, and that's how he showed hope.
You worked with
And for
him to
me,
keep...
he wasn't just a public figure. He was a constant reminder that justice really does require courage and persistence and the willingness to stand up when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and you yourself do that, and you worked with him to keep grocery stores in Memphis open. How did you get him to support your cause? How did you meet?
So we met through a very good bishop friend of mine who worked in community work. And when I learned of the grocery store being about to close, it would create a food desert for not only a single community, but about 9 communities. And so I went to the bishop and went to Reverend Jackson, explained the background to the story to this community. It's Memphis's historic Orange Mound. It's the first community in the country where African Americans could own their own home, and just the impact it would have for the grocery store to disappear. And explaining the backdrop from him using my background in corporate America, I understood how grocery stores worked and that wasn't the right decision for this community. And in doing so, it facilitated a meeting. The meeting moved forward, and ultimately, while they closed the doors, they did something totally different. They gave and donated the building to a competitor. So today, that community of 9 areas still has access to a grocery store.
And that's just one example of how he supported vulnerable and disenfranchised communities in the U.S. But more broadly speaking, how would you say he changed the U.S.?
I believe the answer to that question truly lies in the fact that he changed the face of American democracy. Through his organizing, through his initial belief that he could run for president. As a matter of fact, when I was at Princeton, my thesis, which you had to write a thesis in order to graduate, was on Blacks in presidential politics. I don't know if you can see that. And he was a feature as a part of my thesis. He changed American democracy because he believed that Black voices, working voices, marginalized voices, all needed to be heard, and they needed to be heard at the highest levels. And he turned protest into policy.
America right now, and you know it better than I, is at a moment of internal upheaval. What can the civil rights advocates of today and tomorrow learn from Reverend Jackson?
I believe that many of the civil rights action of today has already learning lessons from Reverend Jackson. They're building movements, not just moments. I believe they're staying rooted in faith and a moral clarity that is required for this season. And I believe that they are tapping into what he believed, and what we know is that you can organize locally, but you also must think globally. And I believe that's true, just even as a function of our conversation here this afternoon. We can never underestimate the power of persistence, and Reverend Jackson never did. He truly taught us that justice will never be won in a single season, that it will be won when we sustain a disciplined and a courageous leadership approach over time. And I believe that that's how he will be remembered. And that's how I remember him in my heart and my head on this day. And I know many days to come.
That was community mobilizer Cheryl Scales. Thank you so much for your time, and all the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.